Everyone, it's your boy Hyper, and today I'm going to be making a tier list for TDS towers. It's a pretty good time to actually make a tier list because most of the towers are actually pretty good and decent, except few towers, but we don't talk about that. Well, I'm going to be ranking every tower except the event ones, except the elf camp because I actually have that and I have tested it, and it's all going to be my personal opinion. If you disagree with any of those, feel free to tell me in the comments. Okay, well, let's start. So, at first, we have the Scout. It's actually good, not F tier, like for most of the scenarios. Like, I remember when I was first time playing TDS, and I actually had a lot of knowledge about the game and other tower defense games. I really like to play tower defense games, so I just used Scout and Sniper and went on beating half of the game. I'm not even kidding when I nearly reached to round 28 or 30 with just only Scout and Snipers. So that proves it's a good tower when you have actually some experience with it. But let's move on to the next tower. We have the sniper. The sniper, the sniper is good. The range it's pretty good, and it gets hint detection unlike ranger. So it can be better than ranger in some scenarios, but it's way too weak to do the damage that ranger does. Well, we have paintballer. It's obvious it's a F tier tower. Like below has not nerfed, I mean buff two of the towers. I don't know why. Below just buff two towers and then the game will be playable with all the towers. Then we have the Demoman. The Demoman, I think it got a yeah, it did got a rebalance, but it got a nerf for the most part. I think I haven't tested it, but for the most part, I've heard that it got a nerf and it's not that good. Well, then I am going to be putting this guy in C tier. Yeah, I think it should be pretty good. Soldier. Just buy this before buying anything when you start the game. I promise it is really good. Freezer. Yeah, these two towers need a significant nerf. I mean buff. Why do I keep saying buff nerf? Well, whatever. Then we have Hunter. The Hunter is actually a tricky tower to rank because I it's not that good nor that bad, but it does depend on what map you're using it. If it's a short map, then you're pretty much screwed. But thing it ranks above the soldier for the most part. Then we have the crook boss. Crook boss is an excellent tower, but the main thing that stopping it for reaching its actual very powerful potential is its placement limit. Because for 4 crook boss, you don't get that much of a DPS out of it. Well, the minions are still good, but still, below needs to buff this guy too. Then we have the Ace Pirate. Well, Ace Pirate is one of the best towers in my opinion. I think it deserves a S rank, but the lowest S rank, cause it's not that good. Okay, wait, no, it's pretty good for the price, but it has a placement limit, but it's not that bothers me anymore. But anyways, it's a S tier tower. I just want to say that. Then we have the medic. The medic is, I think it, yeah, I don't think I will rank it higher than any of this because it is not that good. For if you avoid the ability, it is this. It doesn't do that much damage. But if you count the ability for that, it has to be one of the S tier towers. But if you're using it in any events, it is one of the most needed towers ever. Then we have the militant. For the militant is actually a, yeah, I will put it a wolf crook boss. The damage it does pretty good. Unlimited placement limits. That makes up. We have the Pyromancer. From one of the worst towers in the game to quite decent tower. At least it actually competes with the golden skin. And speaking about the golden skin, it's it is not going to be that good of that skin. I think everyone agrees. But it at least actually has indirection. So you can use it for early game if you want. We have the farm next. Is this is easily the best tower in the entire game. Need any help with any event? Or okay wait, not event, but any game mode. Just take this guy and it will make money. We have the Rocketeer next. It was actually used for the 6 rebalance towers a lot, but now no one really uses it. It's, I think, just like a showpiece. Well, I think it deserves a bit higher than Group Boss. Yeah, I think it does. The damage, it's good. Next, we have the shotgun. The shotgun is actually pretty good, but it says the range makes it extremely hard for it to do anything. Well, at least it doesn't speed up the enemies, or I think Pano doesn't speed up enemies anymore, but I can be wrong, so I will put it above Pyromancer. With the military base, no one really uses this tower anymore, except for hardcore. I don't. You are never going to use this tower. Good enough for this place. The cowboy. Well, you think this tower should be a very good tower for the amount of difficulty you need to beat. Well, it is good, but if you're looking for the money generation after the nerf, it's not that good. Yeah, I'm extremely sorry. God damn it. Okay, we have the motor next. Ah, I didn't mean to put it here. After the rework, it is one of the, I bet this is one of the best towers in the game for taking out hordes of enemies. But the cluster bombs actually are tricky to use. But okay, yeah, as I say, the cluster bombs, they sometimes will hit the track, they sometimes will not hit the track. That's actually tricky if you are using this in anything. But still, for the turret, why do I keep it? Never mind. So for the turret, it's a 8-year tower, like extremely good for what it does. Yeah, no, yeah, this much better, but it does cost more. We have the pursuit next. The pursuit, it's actually good for being a level 1 tower, but it does not have hidden detection, and that is not good. So I think, yeah, better than motor. Motor also doesn't have hidden detection, so fair enough. Electroshocker. For a Lecky, I it is actually a very tricky tower to rate, because level 1 to 3 good for early game, level 4 to 5 more like support tower. So I think, yeah, yeah, this should be good enough. Then next we have the commander, obvious astute. As I was saying, everything about this tower is great except for the damage thing, because that sucks. It literally boosts your tower DPS like crazy. If you have Accelerator, it's actually good. Next we have the Warden. Didn't mean to put it here. For the Warden, it's a good tower, but no one really uses it anymore. But for early game, it's a for mid to late game. I would recommend it. Like it can solo most of the game by its own. It has sin detection and it also blocks stun. And you will already have a level 5 Warden before wave 40. Because what are you doing if you don't have any max towers before wave 40? So yeah, it's good. Better than Pursuit. Next for DJ, obviously, best tower. It takes so long to move. So, should I put it above Commander or below Commander? I think below Commander it's okay. Because for most part, yeah. Then next we have the Exciter. Best, easily S tier. The rework it gained is actually massive because it doesn't actually do now random damage and it has a fixed amount of damage as you saw in my last video. Well, I'm going to put it above everything here because that's kind of obvious. As I said, for Minigunner, I think Mini deserves A tier. Like, it is kind of the main face of the game, and also it does pretty good damage for the amount of it costs. Next, we have the Ranger. The Ranger, I really don't know what to rate it because it does good damage, but the cliff space, most of the map don't have any cliff towers. Well, I will put it above Cowboy. Okay, maybe Minigunner. I think, yeah. I might change the tier list later at the end of the video. For the Engineer, the nerf hit it very hard. Like, they literally removed one sentry. The early game capability it had once lost, but it still is a pretty good tower, so I will rate it here. Okay, wait, yeah, I think that should be pretty good. Then we have the Elf Camp. For the Elf Camp, it is actually a mediocre tower. There's no bad nor good thing. It should be the B tier because it sends out units and they actually do pretty good amount of damage or DPS. Well, now we are in the golden skins. So now we have the Pyromancer. I mean the G Pyromancer. I'm so sorry. Yup, it is the worst golden skin. Now, many of you will ask why. So here's the reason. At level 2, the normal Pyromancer will gain hidden detection. And you are going to need level 2 for Golden Pyromancer to actually kill those hiddens. So why just waste some extra money to upgrading level 2 when you can just use normal one? Well, normal one does have a small range, but it's still okay and better than the regular one. Same applies for the Golden Cowboy too. Speaking of Golden Cowboy, the nerf hit it very hard. So it think yeah, this place should be good. If you're using it for cash generation, F tier. Okay, no, not F tier, but a Werf Scout for the money generation. Or the damage it does pretty good, but you can use other towers for same amount of damage. But whatever. Then we have the Golden Mini Gunner. Easily one of the most used towers in the game. Like it is good for the most part, but it is a heck a lot of expense to upgrade it, and you can afford it and not afford it in early game if you don't have much enough health. So keeping that in mind, I think that's a pretty good place. So now we have the scout. Well, for the scout, it's a S tier. I repeat, it is a S tier tower. Everything about it so good. Like except for the damage if you count. But for speedrunners, it is one of the most mandatory towers in the entire game. Above Ace Pirate, it should be pretty good. Then we have the Crook Boss. Last but not least, well, the Golden Crook Boss doesn't really add much to the normal Crook Boss, except for the damage and minions, but think not to give it much that of a thing star. Yeah, this should be pretty good. Now he doesn't have the golden soldier, but I'm going to virtually rank it. Just think the golden soldier is here. It is going to be below, okay, above scout, cause it does actually very good amount of damage for its low price, and they can pretty much do everything by its own, but except for the price, so it can be above or below golden scout. Well, that's the end of the tier list. Here's the final look of the tier list. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you think any of these towers should be given a better place than there before. And hopefully this video actually helped you out in deciding the towers. Well, that's it for this video. Goodbye.